Okay, to the Caribbean we go. Russia's foreign minister has arrived in Havana. Sergei Lavrov's in Cuba as part of a trip. Okay, to the Caribbean we go. Russia's foreign minister has arrived in Havana. Sergei Lavrov's in Cuba as part of a trip to boost diplomatic ties with South and Central American countries. It comes as the country's president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, this week secured a second term. Talks with the island nation's re-elected leader are expected to occur later today. Cuba is the final stop on Minister Lavrov's four-country Latin American tour. On Wednesday, he visited Nicaragua and outlined the importance of uniting efforts to counter Western hegemony.
Multipolarity is the result of time, an objective historical process that cannot be stopped, although the collective West, rallying under the umbrella of so-called American exceptionalism, is trying to do so. Together with Nicaragua and other like-minded people, we will actively oppose this, drawing attention to the unacceptability of such behavior in today's world.
Yeah, indeed. In Nicaragua, Sergei Lavrov held talks with the country's President Daniel Ortega. They discussed the partnership between the nations, in particular the progress of current cooperation projects and the influence of U.S. sanctions. At the start of Mr. Lavrov's tour, Brazil and Venezuela were the first countries to welcome him across the Atlantic. Latin America specialist Danny Shaw says the region should further align with Russia and China to counter U.S. dominance there.
Washington will continue to stop at nothing to maintain imperial control, that is, diplomatic, economic, political, and military control of the hemisphere. It'll be 200 years since the anniversary of the Monroe Doctrine. And how many centuries, how many decades of gunboat diplomacy, of the big stick, of U.S. arrogance in the region. So across the region, there's a lot of enthusiasm. The new role that the Russians have now played in the Chinese. And this is why we can now talk of a multipolar world that gives the Bolivians, the Nicaraguans, the Venezuelans, the Cubans, and beyond Latin America, any sanctioned people are now able to defy Washington's unipolar designs because they have alternatives, especially in the economic realm. The only way to break the decades and decades of U.S. blackmail of South America and the Caribbean, that is blackmail through unilateral sanctions and an economic blockade. The only way to break that is through greater unity, through greater integration. So the visit of Sergei Lavrov to Caracas and then to Managua could not come soon enough for the toiling, struggling, fighting people of the region.